Welcome everyone. Today we're going to talk about scientific notation. All right, so science has some very large and very small numbers. So if we look at that calculation, we don't want to be doing that calculation. That first number has 31 zeros, so we don't want to put that in the calculator. So what we're going to do is we're going to be able to turn this calculation into this calculation with reviewing our scientific notation rules. So we're only going to use positive numbers. We're going to write it in this format here, m times 10 to the nth, where m is always going to be greater than 1 and less than 10. So like 1 to 9.99999. So that means it must have only one digit before the decimal place. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then n is going to be an integer, so it's going to be a whole number. It could be positive or negative, but it's going to be a whole number, no decimals in the exponent up there. Okay, so we're going to have m times 10 to the nth, and we'll be able to figure those out. I determine m by moving the decimal point to a number between 1 and 9.9. And then I determine n, or the exponent, by how many times I moved that decimal point. If I moved it to the left, n is going to be positive. If I move the decimal point to the right, n is going to be negative. I'll have some examples. Here's the example here. Very large numbers, the exponent is at the very end of the number. So I'm moving it to the left. And my answer is going to be 2.73 times 10 to the fifth, because I moved my decimal point until I got a number between 1 and 9.9. Same with the other way. If it's a very small number, I already have a decimal point, and I need to move it again to a place between the 2 and 7, where I have a number between 1 and 9.9, 2.73, and I moved it 5 spaces again, but this time to the right. So it's a negative exponent. So very large numbers will have positive exponents. Very small numbers will have negative exponents. Now, if we take a look at this number up there, 428.5 times 10 to the 9th. It looks like it's in scientific notation, but 428 is not between 1 and 10. So I need to move my decimal point and then change my exponent. So I'm going to move it 2 places to the left and add 2 to my exponent there. So it's 4.285 times 10 to the 11th. So you can stop and practice these, and then I will show the answers. So here are the answers. The only tricky one is number 3. 10 to the 0 is 1. Anything to the 0 power is 1. So if I want to put it in scientific notation, but it doesn't have, you don't need to move the decimal point, then you would just write times 10 to the 0. When we use the calculator, we don't have a times 10 button. We have the EE button. So when we put something in the calculator, you would put 1 EE to the 8th. If it was 1 times 10 to the 8th. So we'll practice those in class. When I calculate numbers, if I multiply, I'm going to multiply the decimal portions and then add the exponential portions. That's if I don't have a calculator. Same with division. If I don't have a calculator, I can divide the decimal portions and then subtract the exponential portions, or I can just put them in the calculator, okay? Depends on if you have a calculator available or not. So here are some examples. So you can practice those. Let me know if you have any questions. Good luck.